again, confirming what you did confirm already, Brady and Michael. Does it say in the policy that we use our own? I realize it's a complicated issue that we're looking into, but does it say in the policy that we use our own performance? I think it just says the Russell. So I just wanted to confirm that I don't think it says that in our policy.
Yeah. It says the Russell 3000. Russell 3000 index, 11.2, 1%, earning at least 1% net of fees above the domestic equity public markets, Russell 3000 index in 11.2, and then 11.4, Russell 3000 index, earning 1% net of fees below domestic equity public markets, Russell 3000 index. Let me point to it here.
No, so it doesn't show our own performance as.
No, because in the asset class, that is and the key there too, over moving 10-year periods. So, sorry. So within the asset class, that is the benchmark.
Right.
And then at the total fund benchmark, alternative investment actual returns. Now up here, you see we have, for domestic equities, 28%, Russell 3000, 23% international blended benchmark, which is a blend of the MSCI developed markets and emerging market benchmark. That's why it's called a blended benchmark, and the fixed income blended benchmark, which is on and up, so on and on. That's
got it. Why not? Again, I understand we're looking at it and looking at potential for change in the future, but why not, for those same challenges, to use the Russell in that case? Don't those same challenges exist for the individual asset classes? Why not use our benchmark for those asset classes too, if it's not a fully accurate benchmark?
You mean for the other asset classes?
Yeah.
So, well, because you have for instance, domestic equities, we own.
Right. I just mean for opportunities for the ones that we have trouble, the alternatives.
Because there's really never been established one industry standard benchmark. Like, for instance, in public equities, it's either the Russell 3000, the S&P 1500. I mean, there's a couple of benchmarks that have just been established as industry standard because you can replicate them. In fact, that's passive management. So you can own every security in that benchmark in your portfolio. There's no benchmark in alternative investments in which you could do that. So you can't. There's never been established because private market assets are unique. There's thousands of funds out there that you could own. There's thousands of other assets you could own, and those have never been necessarily placed within just one single benchmark that has been established as an industry standard.
Right. I guess I'm asking, why are we using the Russell then for those alternative asset classes if it's not an efficient benchmark?
Well, I think it is a benchmark that can be a good benchmark, a reasonably good benchmark over the long term, because the two values will converge together, because your private market assets should, over a 10-year period, get through those valuation lags and the changes in what's happening in the private markets versus the public markets, and those should converge over a longer period of time. Over a 1-year period of time, they could be 10 or 15 percentage points different in 1-year period, and then you've got 17% of your assets that is distorting essentially what's happening in the other 83% of the assets in all the other asset classes, because it's such a big margin of difference.
Got it.
Because of,
It works because of the time period.
yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Steen?
John, can I follow up? That's underlined. I guess I assumed, isn't that proposed language?
It is, but back here, we had, as I said, that's now a second reference to it. We have here, and we've even further clarified it, total fund policy return, and put in parentheses blended benchmarks, just so it's crystal clear. That's what this is. And then we go through each of the asset classes, and then we have alternative investments. We added the term actual return to make that crystal clear. That's more than consistent with the footnote we use on the performance page, page 5 of the gray book that's in your materials each month. So we're just trying to make sure we're consistent across how we talk about it and try to use terms that are even more clear than what was even there before.
But I guess to clarify again, the actual return, this is all new language, correct?
That is not all new. What
Why
is
is
in
that?
there? The only parts that are new are the underlined and bolded.
So where it says alternative investments, like third paragraph down, actual return underlined. So we did not have actual return. I guess what I'm trying to get to, and it's, I'll make it simple. Did we in our policy before these changes say that on a fund basis, we'll use our own results as the benchmark anywhere in our policy?
That's what's included here.
Being proposed though.
No, in that section, as part of the footnote to the trustee
Okay.
summary report.
So it was in,
Alternative investment, yes, that was in there. We're adding total and blended benchmark, and then we're adding actual return just to make it clear that that is actual return for that total fund policy return.
Okay.
In the performance page that you receive monthly, it actually says actual return. So we're just coordinating between the two footnotes to have them have exactly the same language.
Okay.
Mr. Mayerfeld?
Just quickly, that was approved, or that you're asking us to approve that?
Asking you to approve everything that is either underlined or bolded or has a strike through.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay.